Hospitals are reaching capacity level. The first step after a hospital starts to reach capacity level is that hospital system has to redistribute patients among the system. So we're talking to the New York City hospital system to say, look, if you have a hospital that's up near capacity, redistribute to the other hospitals. If the projections are right and the numbers continue to grow, you're going to see every hospital get to capacity. And that's when a facility like this will kick in, which is an overflow facility for the hospital system writ large.
But she's saying that's the one priority. She's pleading, saying we need to move these people out. Do you think something like that is going to happen? Is that the next part of this? What do you think the city can do to try to alleviate some of that pressure?
Oh, yeah. We have the State Department of Health talking to the New York City Department of Health saying you have to distribute patients among your hospital system so you're not overburdening any one hospital necessarily. Now look, you get to the point where all the hospitals are at capacity, then you need the overflow. That's this facility, 3 others. I asked the president today to build another 4,000 beds because we're expecting by the numerical projections that you will overflow the hospital capacity of the entire system.
Ventilators. Where are we on the ventilators? How are things going? That seems to be obviously the most critical aspect in all of this.
The ventilator is the most critical aspect. You can take a look at the rooms behind us. You know, what do you need at the end of the day? You need a bed, you need staff, you need PPE equipment, but you need that ventilator because the people who will be in acute care, they need that respiratory assistance. That is a ventilator. We need about 30,000. We're about halfway there. We're working on it every day, but we're not there yet.
Were there ventilators found in a storage facility or something that the president is claiming that there were ventilators found, that they need to be distributed? Is there any truth to that?
That is incorrect and grossly uninformed. The point is, we have ventilators in a stockpile and we didn't send them to the hospitals yet. Of course we didn't. That's the whole point. The hospitals don't need them yet. The hospitals aren't at their apex. The hospitals have enough ventilators today, but the numbers are going up. We're planning for an apex, a high point in about 21 days. That's when we need the 30,000 ventilators, not today. Right now, we're putting them in a stockpile. So the point is, well, they're in a stockpile, you must not need them. It's just ignorant. Of course you don't need them today. You need them when you hit the apex, which is 30,000. We're not there yet.
Has the apex moved for you? You were talking 14 days yesterday, the last few days. Has it moved now more, do you think, to the 21 days? There are some signs of, I think we all need some optimism in all of this, right? And so,
yeah, if you want optimism, the optimism is the rate was doubling every 2 days, rate of new cases every 2 days. Then it went to rate of new cases every 3 days. Now it's a rate of new cases doubling every 4 days. So the rate of doubling is slowing. That's the good news. The bad news is the number is still going up, but the rate of the doubling has declined. But the cases are going up. The question is, how high do they go up and how long do they stay there before they come on, flatten the curve and then drop?
And then finally, just one more point on the sense of optimism. The Surgeon General this morning saying that he's hopeful that the numbers here in New York will start to come down next week. Is there any chance of that happening, or do you see?
Yeah, look, what you hear from a lot of federal officials is, I hope this, I think this, I believe this. I hope the number comes down tomorrow. I hope I don't need any ventilators. I'm with the president. I hope he's right. But I deal with numbers, and I deal with science, and I don't deal with feelings and emotions and what I would like to see, right? That would be reckless and negligent of me as a government official. I'm dealing with numerical projections by the best medical minds on the globe, and dealing with those projections, preparing for those projections, and then we hope for the best. But you don't see that in any numbers You don't hear that from Dr. Fauci. You won't hear that from any health professional. This is all hope and aspiration and hyperbole, which is great. But I hope you don't operate that way, and I hope you operate on facts and numbers and data and science. Otherwise, you do this nation a disservice.
Just one last question. Other states, other cities are about to face what this city and what this state is facing. What's your advice to them? You know, we're hearing Louisiana, we're hearing places like Detroit. What's your advice to them?
Make the hard choices sooner. You know, politicians don't like to make the hard choices. They don't like to make controversial choices. Make the hard choices sooner. Closing the schools is hard, I know. Telling people non-essential workers have to stay home is hard, I know. Closing the restaurants, closing the gyms, it's hard, but it's smart, and the sooner you do it, the better. And be prepared, get that projection, follow the numbers. Don't follow poetry in your heart and your song and politicians' hyperbolic statements. Get the numbers and be prepared for the numbers, and get the equipment and get it sooner, because it's a global race for this equipment. And if you don't get it now, you're not going to have it when you need it.